Jessie, and you're watching The Nikki Rich Show.
In a secluded California home, Delilah Combs and Jessie Combs, 18-year-old twin sisters with hauntingly similar dark eyes, watch news headlines flash across a computer screen. Diddy on trial. Music mogul faces racketeering, sex trafficking charges. Their beautiful yet cold resolve speaks volumes. "It's time, Jessie," Delilah whispers, tracing a faded photo of their mother, Lena Bell. "We've waited to drag him into the light, for Mom." They are Sean Diddy Combs' most guarded secret, born in the shadows, raised in isolation. Nurtured on terrifying tales of a father they never knew and a mother's unspeakable torment. They represent the buried truth. Today, June 5th, 2025, the Manhattan courthouse echoes have finally stirred them. They're not just witnesses. They're the inheritors of a painful truth, debt collectors for an empire built on depravity. Soon, they'll step out of the shadows, ready to unleash destruction upon their father's life. The federal courthouse in Manhattan crackled with an almost palpable tension as the morning of Wednesday, June 5th, 2025, dawned. Every eye was fixed on Diddy, the music mogul whose empire now teetered on the brink, facing the most horrifying accusations of his career. The prosecutor, Anya Sharma, began her opening statement, her voice resonating through the chamber with unwavering authority. "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we will present evidence of a systematic pattern of abuse and control, perpetrated by Mr. Sean Combs, a pattern that has shattered countless lives." In the witness preparation room, Delilah and Jessie sat side by side, their hands clasped tightly, their hearts pounded like drums. "I'm so nervous, Delilah," Jessie whispered. "Can we really do this?" Delilah squeezed her sister's hand. "We have to, for Mom." They kept glancing at Anya Sharma, their lawyer, who was reviewing her notes. "Miss Sharma, are you sure we're strong enough?" Delilah asked, her voice trembling. "He's so powerful," Anya offered a reassuring smile. "Lena's daughters, you are the strongest evidence. Truth is always more powerful than power." In their minds, the image of their mother, Lena Bell, materialized. Mother Lena had told them so much about Diddy, her eyes always holding fear, but also profound love. "I know you're scared," Lena's voice soothed in their memories, "but I believe in you. The truth will set you and all the other women free." At that precise moment, the courtroom doors creaked open. All eyes, including Diddy's, swiveled to the entrance. Delilah and Jessie stepped in, their demeanor poised yet undeniably powerful. They wore dark, simple but elegant suits, which accentuated their tall frames and sharp, striking features. Their footsteps were light, yet they carried an unseen weight. A ripple of murmurs spread through the room. No one in the courtroom, not even Diddy's seasoned lawyer, Tenny Garagos, recognized them. Yet, their uncanny resemblance to Diddy was undeniable, drawing every gaze. They didn't head for the public gallery. Instead, they walked directly towards the prosecution's table where Anya Sharma stood. A deafening silence descended. "Counselor Sharma," the judge interjected, his voice tinged with surprise. "Is there an issue?" Anya Sharma turned, a faint smile playing on her lips. "No issue, Your Honor. Merely a minor adjustment to our witness plan. We believe these witnesses will provide crucial testimony, potentially shedding unprecedented light on this entire case." Diddy sat there, his eyes locked onto Delilah and Jessie. His face, usually a mask of indifference, now contorted into something else. It was fear, a primal, suffocating fear he had painstakingly concealed for years. He knew who they were. He knew why they were there. Delilah and Jessie remained silent. They simply stood, their sharp gazes sweeping over Diddy, a look of profound resentment and unwavering resolve in their eyes. They had waited for this moment for an eternity, the moment they would emerge from the shadows and drag their father into the blinding light of justice. Anya Sharma continued her examination with David James, Diddy's former personal assistant. James, a middle-aged man with a weary countenance, began to recount his years working for the music magnate. detailing Diddy's rampant drug use and the wild, illicit parties where he exerted absolute control. He wouldn't let anyone leave. Phones were confiscated. It was as if we were imprisoned in his own twisted world, James testified, his voice trembling. As James spoke, Delilah and Jesse silently observed. They had heard these stories countless times from their mother, but hearing them recounted firsthand by an outsider still sent shivers down their spines. They knew that what James described was merely the tip of a monstrous iceberg. Delilah subtly squeezed Jesse's hand. "He was always like that," she whispered, just loud enough for Jesse to hear. "Mom said he always wanted to control everything, everyone." Jesse nodded, memories of their mother, Lena Bell, sobbing uncontrollably in her sleep, disjointed stories of Diddy's rules and punishments flashing through their minds. They recognized the truth in James's words. Diddy had turned the lives of those around him into a prison, not just their mothers. Thursday, June 6, 2025, day 2 of the Diddy trial, erupted with intense new revelations. Yesterday's mysterious appearance of Delilah and Jesse Combs had already ignited a media frenzy, with everyone asking, who are they? Prosecutor Anya Sharma called her next witness, Mia, a young woman whose fragile demeanor belied an unwavering resolve. Using an alias for protection, Mia's presence caused a subtle frown from Diddy, a rare crack in his stoic facade. "I was raped by Mr. Combs," Mia whispered, sending gasps through the courtroom. She described his dark room, a place where she had no privacy, where Diddy controlled everything, forcing her into filmed sexual acts. "It was like Diddy's personal dungeon," Mia said, her voice trembling. "He used those videos to threaten me," she stated, her voice growing stronger. Mia then recounted witnessing Diddy assault singer Cassie Ventura, dragging her by her hair. When Cassie's stylist Deontay Nash intervened, Diddy threatened to kill them both. This was corroborated by Eddie Garcia, a hotel security guard who testified Diddy paid him $100,000 to acquire surveillance footage of the 2016 assault on Cassie, fearing it would destroy his career. Garcia admitted to taking a cut, highlighting Diddy's desperate cover-up. This testimony struck a severe blow. Diddy slumped, his face contorted with anger and panic, glaring at Mia. Delilah and Jesse remained impassive. They knew from their mother Lena's diary that this was only a fraction of the horror. Lena Bell, a talented dancer, had also been in that dark room, her dreams crushed, another victim in Diddy's web. Anya Sharma then requested to play an audio recording from Lena Bell's diary. Diddy's head snapped up, wide-eyed with horror. He knew. Lena's frail, clear voice recounted chilling details of forced sexual acts and freak-offs, revealing Diddy's demand for her to narrate everything, as if he was writing a twisted script. "In that room, I wasn't myself anymore," Lena's voice whispered in the recording. "I was just a tool for his darkest fantasies." When the recording concluded, Diddy buried his head in his hands, completely losing control. Garagos immediately called for a recess, shielding his client from the shocked public gaze. Memories flooded Delilah and Jesse's minds as witnesses spoke of the dark room and Diddy's control. It was a bright, sunny day at their secluded California home when Delilah and Jesse were about 6 years old. The sisters were playing hide-and-seek, their giggles echoing through the hallway. Jesse, always the more mischievous one, pushed open a heavy wooden door they had never noticed before. Inside was a small, dark room, windowless. The only light filtered in from a tiny crack in the ceiling, casting a faint glow on the floor. The room was empty, except for a worn leather armchair and some ropes dangling from the ceiling, along with a few shiny metal tools. With the innocent minds of children, they thought it was a new game. "Jesse, look!" Delilah exclaimed excitedly. "These must be Daddy's toys." Jessie, with her characteristic curiosity, climbed onto the armchair. One of the dangling ropes brushed her hand, and Jessie, thinking it was a swing, grabbed onto it. Suddenly, a sharp metal object nearby slid down, cutting Jessie's hand. She shrieked in pain, and blood began to seep out. Delilah frantically rushed to her. "Are you okay?" She hugged her sister, Jessie's cries echoing in the dim room. Fear enveloped them as they realized the ominous nature of the objects. The door abruptly opened and their nanny, Lena Bell, their mother, rushed in, alarmed by Jessie's screams. Seeing the cut on Jessie's hand, Lena's face went ashen. She quickly bandaged Jessie's wound, her hands trembling. "It's okay, my darling," she said, her voice a whisper, but her eyes filled with worry. "You just fell while playing. I'll tell Daddy that." Lena kept everything hidden, not wanting Diddy to know that her daughters had discovered his torture room, fearing what he might do. After that horrifying discovery, Delilah and Jessie never went near the dark room again, but its shadow haunted them. Many nights when Diddy was home, they heard screams echoing from downstairs. Women's cries, desperate pleas, and sometimes Diddy's eerie laughter. They would huddle in bed, clutching each other, covering their ears, wondering what was happening. Lena Bell often came to their bedside, hugging them tightly, whispering reassurances. "Go to sleep, my darlings. Everything will be fine." But her eyes told a different story, one of fear and helplessness. These nights repeated throughout their childhood, the screams, the cries, and the strange noises from the dark room slowly etching themselves into the twins' minds. As they grew older, Delilah and Jessie began to understand more about their father's violent nature. They wondered if other women were suffering as their mother Lena had. They started to realize that their mother's stories weren't just tales, but horrifying truths. When the accusations against Diddy began to surface publicly in the media, Delilah and Jessie felt a weight lifted from their hearts. "I knew it," Jessie told Delilah one night, as they watched the news reports of the lawsuits. "Those screams weren't a dream." Delilah nodded. "Mom said he was a monster, and now the whole world sees it." They approached their mother, asking her about testifying. Lena Bell, though much weaker, looked at them with unwavering determination. "I've waited for this day, my daughters. It's time for the truth to come out. I believe in you." Their mother's encouragement strengthened them, dispelling any lingering fears. The morning of Tuesday, June 11th, 2025, brought the most anticipated moment of the trial. Anya Sharma called out their names. We called Delilah Combs and Jessie Combs. The courtroom erupted. Whispers, murmurs, the frenzied clicking of camera shutters. Diddy sprang to his feet, his face ashen, his eyes wide with horror. He shrieked, his voice raw with panic. "No! It's not possible! They're not my children!" He struggled against the grip of the security officers, but they held him fast. Delilah and Jessie ascended to the witness stand, their composure eerily serene. They didn't look at Diddy, but straight at the jury, their gazes resolute and unwavering. Anya Sharma began her questioning. "Miss Delilah, Miss Jessie, please tell the jury about your relationship with Mr. Sean Combs." Delilah spoke first, her voice cold and clear, resonating throughout the courtroom. "Mr. Sean Combs is our biological father. We were born in 2008 in Los Angeles, but our identities have been hidden for the past 18 years, Jessie continued, her voice thick with anger and resentment. "Our mother was Lena Bell, a young dancer from Los Angeles. She met him in 2007. He forced our mother into sexual acts in his penthouse, then abandoned her when he found out she was pregnant. He never wanted us to exist, because we are living proof of his crimes." "My mother called that room hell on earth," Jessie said, her voice choked with emotion. "He turned it into a torture chamber, where my mother and other women were held captive and abused. We saw it with our own eyes, even as little girls." Delilah produced a USB drive. "This is our mother's diary. My mother meticulously documented everything, from her initial encounter with Diddy to his threats, the horrific parties, and the fear she endured. It contains secret audio recordings, candid photos of him abusing our mother, and detailed notes about how he paid people off to conceal our existence." An audio recording played. It was Diddy's voice, cold and authoritative, giving orders to someone to suppress information about Lena Bell and her two children. Don't let anyone know about Lena, and especially not about the twins. If this information gets out, you will pay the price." The courtroom exploded once more. Shouts, murmurs, cries. Diddy had not only abused women, but also disowned his own children, concealing another heinous crime. The jurors looked on in disbelief. Some turned away, unable to watch. "My mother witnessed Cassie Ventura being brutally abused by him many times," Delilah said, her voice filled with outrage. "He manipulated her with her career, with money, and with threats. Cassie was not a willing participant, as Diddy's lawyer claims. She was a victim, trapped in his web of control, just like our mother and so many other women," Jessie continued, her voice laced with pain and fury. "Our mother passed away a few years ago from a mysterious illness, and we believe it was no coincidence. She suffered too much. Before she died, my mother told us everything. She wanted justice, and we will see that it's done for her. We cannot let him continue to evade accountability." Diddy, after hearing the recording and the testimonies of his own children, completely collapsed. He slumped onto the table, his shoulders shaking. For the first time, everyone saw his utter vulnerability, his absolute panic. Garagos hastily called for a recess, but it was too late. The truth had been laid bare. On Wednesday, June 12, 2025, the high-profile trial of Sean Diddy Combs reached its dramatic conclusion. Despite the defense's last-ditch efforts, the testimonies of Delilah and Jessie Combs, Diddy's own children, proved to be the decisive blow. Their accounts combined with irrefutable evidence from Lena Bell's diary, including audio of Diddy ordering the concealment of the twins' existence and photos depicting his abuse of Bell, shattered any hope for acquittal. Prosecutor Anya Sharma delivered a powerful closing argument, highlighting the agonizing testimonies of brave women like Mia and Dawn Richard and the manipulation and cover-ups from David James and Eddie Garcia. She specifically emphasized Delilah and Jessie's testimony about Cassie, stating that even his own flesh and blood confirmed Cassie Ventura was a victim, not a willing participant in Diddy's repulsive acts. Sharma emphasized the crucial role of Delilah and Jessie Combs, stating, "These children carrying his very blood were hidden for 18 years simply because he feared the truth." Sharma painted a stark picture of Diddy's empire built on fear, abuse, and denial, where he treated women as playthings and buried the existence of his own children. Despite the overwhelming evidence, Diddy's attorney Garagos maintained his client's innocence, arguing the evidence was insufficient to convict him of such grave charges. However, the judge promptly announced the jury was ready to deliver its verdict, silencing Garagos' protests. At 3 p.m. on Wednesday, June 12, 2025, the jury foreman calmly delivered the verdict. A wave of emotion swept through the courtroom, cheers, sobs, and a palpable sense of relief. Delilah and Jessie Combs embraced, their faces reflecting years of hidden pain finally released. Diddy, in stark contrast, appeared utterly defeated, his eyes vacant. The undisputed king of hip-hop, Sean Diddy Combs, was found guilty on all counts, facing a potential lifetime in prison for an empire built on pain and secrecy. As he was escorted away, Delilah and Jessie watched, their gaze shifting from anger to a cold resolve, signifying justice for their mother, Lena Bell, and countless other victims. The verdict sent shockwaves through Hollywood, serving as a powerful reminder that abusers will be held accountable. The story of the twins who brought down their father's empire will forever resonate as a testament to truth and justice.